Hello, may I speak to Bethel Rose?
Good morning. This is Bethel Rose speaking.
I'm calling about the project assistant position you applied for, and I'd like to do a telephone interview.
Yes, thank you for calling.
So let's start by tell me about yourself.
I'm very energetic and very driven to complete the tasks that are given to me. I enjoy meeting people and communicating with various groups. I work very well with groups. I do work independently from time to time. I follow directions. Um, that's pretty much it.
Tell me about your past work experience.
Well, I've worked at Mass General Hospital for 30 years, and I've worked at Crate and Barrel part-time for 10. At Mass General, it's mostly been administration. I started at the early age of 16 in environmental services, which was cleaning rooms and beds when patients were discharged. And then I became an operations associate where I worked in the medical intensive care unit very closely with the operations manager and took care of the day-to-day functions that needed to be done to run an intensive care unit. I worked with multiple doctors, interns, physicians, nurses. I also was the face of the medical ICU. I worked with patients, their families, visitors. I was the greeter for everyone. At Crate and Barrel, part-time sales is working with a team, learning to sell merchandise. I'm pretty good with dinnerware and flatware is my specialty. And it's the day-to-day functions of making the store work.
Thank you. Describe a time when you worked well on a team.
At Crate and Barrel, we work as a team in order to make sure our customers are satisfied. Money isn't always the bottom dollar or the bottom line, believe it or not. If there is a customer who doesn't know a lot about dinnerware or glassware, flatware, one of my coworkers would call me. That's what I do best, and I would take over whatever sale or whatever information that the customer would need. I'm also pretty good with wedding registries, and our wedding registrants are a little nervous when they come into the store, so they need somebody to help walk them through. I'll introduce them to our furniture associates. I'll introduce them to other sales associates that are good with cookware. They might be better with bakeware than I am, and we work together to make sure the customer has as much information and has the best experience possible.
Tell me about a time when you had too many things to do and had to prioritize your tasks.
Here at Mass General, I'm the executive assistant to the chief of the cancer center, so every day is a challenge. There are times where I have 7 to 8 meetings to schedule in the day. I have to make sure that my boss makes it to his meetings on time. I also work with students that shadow, do electives here at the hospital. So I have to really look at my schedule in the morning and decide what needs to get done first, which is always making sure my boss gets to his meetings on time and to make sure that everything at those meetings is provided for. It could be the AV team, it could just be lunch, but I need to make sure that those things are really done first. After that, I'll usually scroll through my emails and start addressing anything that needs to be done then. Most of the time I have things prepared before I start my day, especially from the day before. So prioritizing, again, really does start with the boss and works its way down with meetings, phone calls, emails, things like that.
Tell me about a time when you had to go above and beyond the call of duty. How did you handle the situation?
Going above and beyond the call of duty, again, is something that I tend to do a lot. A good example is I'm also in charge of Grand Rounds, the Cancer Center Grand Rounds we have on Thursdays. And there was one Thursday where there was confusion with who had the room assignment. There's a large conference room that we use. And the young lady that I work with had gotten there before me, and lunch hadn't been delivered yet. and the other group that was coming in after us was also there. So everyone was clamoring and arguing with one another as to who needed to do what, who needed to be where. I had to walk away from my desk, walk over about a block to the conference room. I just took control, checked the schedule, called the person who takes care of all the room assignments, was able to find catering. I had lunch all set up. They were right behind me as I was walking over. I was able to calm my coworker down and explain to her and the other group where they were supposed to be and what was where the right assignment was. So I was just able to get everyone to calm down and make sure that everyone was where they needed to be and that everybody's lunches were in the right places. It was a little sideshow, but it turned out to be a pretty good moment.
Okay. Tell me about a time when you worked effectively under pressure.
Also at the hospital, I have to do annual reviews or I have to organize annual reviews for our medical physicians. There are 104, and I need to get them done within an 8-week period. I have to send out, or I do send out an email to the other administrative assistants and telling them the dates that are available for these physicians, which is usually Tuesday and Thursdays from 1 to 5. And I actually make sure each one of those physicians has a half-an-hour schedule with Dr. Ryan, who's my boss, and who they need to meet for the annual reviews. There are a few physicians that I have to call directly, and that usually, it doesn't take very long to do that, but that is always just a little challenge to make sure everybody's schedules work or coincide with the schedule that we have for the annual reviews. Would you like me to elaborate?
No, that's fine. Thank you. Give me an example of a time when you showed initiative.
At Crate and Barrel, again, working in part-time sales, it's usually in the evenings. Sometimes someone has to step up and take the lead if there are people who've called out and we may be short-staffed. I had to do that one evening. There were only 4 of us in the store. It's a very large store, and I work usually in what we call the entertaining section, and again that deals with dinnerware, flatware, all of your placemats and things like that. We had a new employee in the store, and I actually had to train her and show her how to get things done effectively and efficiently without making the customers feel as if they weren't important and weren't paid attention to. So I had to just take my time and be sure that I was giving not only my new coworker the correct information, but to make sure that customers felt that they, again, were paid attention to. So I would walk up to a customer with the associate, saying hello, introducing myself, asking if they needed any assistance. Was there anything here in the store that I could show them? Did they need any information? And then turn around and say to my new associate, this is how we get these things done, and it's okay. Sometimes you just have to take the lead, and it's all right. And again, just make sure that the situation was calm, the customer felt important, and the new associate didn't feel lost and left out.
Is there anything else you would like us to know about you?
I really do like to work with my team. Either at Mass General or at Crate and Barrel. I'm very interested in, it's very important to me that tasks are completed as efficiently and as appropriately as possible. I love to talk to people. I am very well traveled. I love to read, so I try to bring those sort of fun things, that fun personality about me into everything that I do. Not as serious as this may seem or may sound. I really do try to make light of bad situations or complicated situations just to put everyone at ease. It also helps me calm down also and keeps me from stressing out too much. I just like to be sure that things get done well.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Okay.